A city in Europe cancelled its order for 51 hydrogen-powered buses because they found, after doing some actual research, that running them was six times more expensive than electric buses. Well, now Melbourne is about to make a mistake that has been made by other countries, such as Germany, where they have simply retired their hydrogen-powered buses after less than 12 months of use. Within the past few months, several countries have cancelled their plans for hydrogen-powered buses. Many countries who already have hydrogen-powered buses no longer use them. And now, an expert from Cambridge University says that the state of Melbourne, or the state of Victoria and the city of Melbourne, are making a costly mistake, that the hydrogen buses they're about to purchase won't really even work. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans, you're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. The Cambridge expert has warned that Melbourne's hydrogen buses are simply destined to fail. He said that Melbourne's announced trial of hydrogen buses will cost the city. And to give some context here, the city of Melbourne, the city of Victoria, is virtually bankrupt. It has cut its public service. In other words, it has fired about 50% of its employees, government employees, because it can't pay their salaries over the past 12 months. It's in a position where, in fact, the state of Victoria pretty well begged China for loans, underhanded loans, secret loans called Belt and Road. The Chinese government essentially uses to enter into countries and kind of get a foothold in that country. The state is spending billions and billions of dollars on massive infrastructure projects. It's also investing at a time when it has almost no money in hydrogen-powered buses. University of Melbourne graduate and Professor of Mechanical Engineering at Cambridge University, David Seaborn, says the new Melbourne hydrogen buses are very expensive, they're inefficient, and they're destined to join an increasingly long list of failed hydrogen trials all around the world. As the director of the Centre for Sustainable Road Freight, Seaborn is a member of the Hydrogen Science Coalition that provides energy transition insights free from industry bias. And this is the key point here, free from industry bias. It's not easy to actually get information that's free from bias. I mean, I probably even have my own biases, but the thing is, this institution are providing this information free of charge. There is zero incentive to them in any way to provide biased information. They're just simply saying hydrogen-powered buses just don't work in most of the world. The Victorian government recently announced that 2 Australian-made hydrogen buses would be trialled across Melbourne's west to increase the transition to a cleaner fleet. The only thing is there's nowhere to actually fill them up. Seaborn warns that trials of hydrogen-powered vehicles have failed repeatedly around the world, with these new buses not a true zero-emissions solution. He says that the decision is set to be an expensive mistake for the government in Victoria, who have little money to spare. In fact, no money to spare. Hydrogen fuel cell buses are commonly said to only emit water vapor at their tailpipe, but in reality, almost all hydrogen today is produced from fossil fuels, making hydrogen manufacture worldwide responsible for more emissions than the global aviation industry. Hydrogen production worldwide is responsible for more emissions than the global aviation industry. That gives you a bit of a better context, better picture of what's really going on here. Electric buses are becoming the zero-emission choice for public transport worldwide. There is 600,000 electric buses in China alone. They're about half the cost of hydrogen fuel cell vehicles They're about half the cost of hydrogen fuel cell buses to purchase, and they use a third of the energy. If you can't use a tram, an electric bus is the next best option when it comes to efficiency. There is little need to subject Melbourne to a costly, already failed experiment that risks locking in extremely high energy costs or the fossil fuels we're trying to escape. And, well, he's right. Other experts all around the world have made similar comments, and governments have agreed that he's correct within the past few months. It's happened in France, it's happened in numerous places in Europe where they've discovered that hydrogen buses are simply not working. Seabond says green hydrogen, the only near zero emission form, is in scarce supply because of the huge amount of renewable electricity required for its production. These same production requirements mean that vehicles powered with green hydrogen use 3 times more electricity than those directly powered with the same electricity through a battery. He says high capital and fuel costs dogged hydrogen buses at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. It became a total nightmare for Japan. In the past 12 months alone, the German city of Wiesbaden retired its hydrogen buses. Cost them millions. They're sitting in a field now, basically rusting away, doing nothing. That was only 1 year after the buses were delivered. And that was in a scheme to introduce hydrogen buses. It simply didn't work. There was another one in England's Liverpool where hydrogen buses were suspended due to hydrogen supply problems. A real-world Italian study found hydrogen buses cost 2.3 times more to run than electric buses, and the French commune of Pau said it would opt to buy electric buses in the future because its hydrogen buses simply aren't working. They're causing continuous problems. High costs are associated with the hydrogen buses, and of course repairing them is just almost impossible. This follows the city of Montpellier in France, which cancelled its order for 51 hydrogen buses because they were found to be 6 times more expensive to run than electric buses. Well, that about sums it up. 6 times more expensive. Imagine if they'd ordered 51 hydrogen buses. It would have cost them millions and millions of dollars. Luckily for them, they wised up and cancelled their order. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.